Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, and this is a really easy introduction to make. Our speaker, Maceo Nance, is known to almost everybody in this room who's worked in economic development. He currently serves as his senior advisor to the Secretary of Commerce. In actuality, he has spent much of his long and distinguished career working on behalf of the state's rural and underserved counties, serving regions such as ours with passion and with fervor and with a commitment to making us more prosperous. And by the way, that long and prosperous career spans 48 years between the Department of Commerce and the State Development Board. Maceo, you don't look that old, kind of like that woman across the room from Rocky. He holds a bachelor's degree from Morehouse College and has completed Georgia Tech's economic course, the University of Oklahoma's Economic Development Institute, and the South Carolina Economic Developers Advanced Symposium. He is a native of Orangeburg, South Carolina. He and his wife, Tony, have 3 children and 6 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, Maceo Nance.
Gosh, y'all don't have to get so quiet, please. As I look out over the audience, though, I see several faces that I recognize, and there are a number of you who know Harry Lightsey. I'm not Harry Lightsey. Okay, let's get that clear. I'm not Harry Lightsey. Harry's a lot taller than I am. He has a lot more hair than I have, and he's a lot smarter than I am. So that's those are all pluses for me. I can truly say that Harry really wanted to be here today, and that's not just verbiage. He was actually looking forward to being here today. Unfortunately, when you have the position of Secretary of Commerce and the General Assembly is in session, you just kind of lose control of your schedule. So he and the Deputy Secretary were summoned across the street to testify this morning. And they regret that they were not able to be here. So I'm going to do my best for you. I'd like for you to follow closely with me, because I want you to take a little ride with me. The future. Just remember, the future. Wouldn't it have been a good thing if we knew what the future had to bring back when? And when I say back when, you can go back when as far as you want to go. I'm going to give you some examples here. Some of you will know, some folks in this audience may be too young to know. But remember when computers first came out and everybody was so amazed at what computers would do, but computers would literally fill up this room? Today, all of you have a computer, at least one in your pocket or in your purse, and that's a cell phone. Who would have thought that you would have been at this place in that period of time? Speaking of that, rotary dial telephones. Who remembers rotary dial telephones? You take a young person now into a home that has a rotary dial telephone and ask them to make a telephone call, they'd look at you like you had grown a third eye. Seriously. Okay, let's go a step further back in time. Who remembers party lines? Okay, so there is an evolution here that takes place, especially as it exists with technology. I'm going to cover a little ground here that I think would be of interest to you, and I hope that I don't bore you with this. But it would really be good to know what the future holds. But we don't know for certain. We have some ideas. We can make the best stab at it as that we can and hope that it will be accurate. When Harry first came on board, this was probably 8 or 9 months ago, we had several discussions with staff on a variety of different issues, one of which had to do with something that should be fairly simple: mission. What is our mission? What should we be doing? It sounds like an easy question to answer, but it really is difficult when you try to put it into a few words. So we came up with the mission for commerce, and the mission for commerce is pretty simple: create economic opportunities to increase choices for all South Carolinians. It's a choice. Give people a choice to be what they want to be, to do what they want to do. As long as they position themselves to be able to grab that apple, they need to have all the choices that they can have. There are great things happening in South Carolina. We can talk about what we think our strengths are. Prime geographic location, robust infrastructure, strong partnerships. South Carolina offers unparalleled opportunity for business and industry. Companies are starting to really take notice of that. We had a great year in 2021. In fact, we were sort of surprised ourselves as to how things turned out, following on the heels of COVID. But commerce and all of our partners and allies recorded really what turned out to be a record-breaking year in 2021. Collectively, we won 153 projects. That's well above our batting average. We announced $5.7 billion with a B dollars in new capital investment, along with 18,000 new jobs, which is, again, an all-time high for us. Notably, 2021 also marked the largest investment numbers that we've had in rural South Carolina, which was a little over $1 billion, creating some 3,000 new jobs. Most recruited investment in 1 year from domestic companies. That's really something to be proud of. It's the first time since 2017 that overall foreign direct investment and committed foreign domestic investment in jobs both increased in the same year. To recruit more than $5 billion in capital investment is not easy. It takes collaboration. It takes people working well together. It takes people working hard. It takes dedicated people to do everything that they can do to make everything work. Favoritism has to go away. The goal at this point is to win. And this process of recruiting companies, recruiting businesses, is a long, drawn-out function. Florence County had some impressive wins last year. QVC's $2.5 million expansion, 360 new jobs. Performance Food Services, $11 million expansion, 150 new jobs, just to mention two. But the question that I ask you is why? Why did that happen? How did that happen? You know, everybody reads about it in the newspaper, but nobody ever asked that question. Why did they do that here? They could have gone any place to do that. So, ask that question from time to time. What is it? Is it Florence's ideal location? Could that be it? Got two major interstates, proximity to the inland port in Dillon. Could those be two reasons why? There are three key items that every company, and I put the emphasis here on every company, has at the top of their list before they do anything. It doesn't matter whether it's a company that's going to invest $1 million. It doesn't matter whether it's a company that's going to invest $3 billion. The same three items are going to be at the top of that list. Want to give a guess as to what those three items are? Sort of a rhetorical question. Risk, time, and speed. Period. Everything else falls behind those three items. Can you imagine having to be the individual that makes the final say-so on a company that's going to invest millions of dollars? And the money is not yours. It belongs to somebody else. Can you imagine making the wrong decision? It's a risk. Companies are risk averse, and they are going to eliminate as much risk as they possibly can. Time. Time here may be a little bit different from the time that you have in your mind. Because from a company standpoint, time means going from spending money to making money. Until that facility is up, functioning, getting good product out of the door, they're spending money like crazy, left and right. Spending is all outgoing. They've not sold the first product. They've spent all the money, but they've not sold the first product. So time is the next. How quickly can we get this facility up and running and stop spending money and start making money? How long does it take us to get into the black? Speed. Speed is speed to market. How quickly can we get this product to our suppliers, to our customers, and can we beat the competition in getting it there? It's a competitive issue. Those three things, and I don't care whether you're talking about a restaurant or whether you're talking about a multi-million-dollar facility that's going to produce widgets. Those are the items that always rise to the top. The recent expansion projects in Florence are a testament to that same competitive edge. It's how do we keep that competitive edge, and how do we look at it from the standpoint of growth? Can we accommodate our growth here? And I guarantee you those same three things jumped out. Speed, risk, time. From support of existing industry to product development, the Commerce team works diligently every day to advance economic development across the state. Product development. You cannot be in this business if you do not have product. You have to have something to sell. And it's got to be more than just dirt. Because what? Everybody has dirt. Why is your dirt different? What have you done to your dirt to make it different? I do want to take a minute here because I think that it's well deserved. And I wish that we had more counties like Florence to do something like this. Florence County Council had the nerve to be able to go out and spend $22 million to purchase industrial property. Not just purchase it, but prepare it for whomever is coming in next. You know, if you look at economic development in this context and envision it as being a grocery store, you know, building the grocery store is great, but if you forget to stock the shelves, you can open the doors and what happens? Nothing. So be in a position to have something to sell. Florence County has done that. They went out on the edge, started down this path, and have committed themselves for it to be a continuing effort. You know, as Rocky said, they went from purchasing the property to extending utilities to it. Now they're talking about putting speculative buildings on it. Very much a part of the process. In any given year, roughly 70 to 75% of the inquiries that we get at Commerce basically are looking for an available building. Why? Speed answers one of the questions. Speed. We can complete a building, we can generally renovate a building a lot faster than we can build a building from the ground up. So consequently, 100,000 square feet, 200,000 square feet, 500,000 square feet, whatever the number is, if we can find it and renovate it or upfit it or complete it, we're ahead of the game. So don't stop with just the property. And they've not stopped with just the property. They've moved ahead and done the right thing and started the development of that property into something that would be a real sales tool for them. Service after the sale is just as important. We realized that at Commerce several years ago, but support resources like connecting suppliers to original equipment manufacturers from the standpoint of the automotive industry, facilitating international trade, connecting manufacturers to recycling operations, just to mention a few things. It's sort of like the dating game. You know, if you have a widget here that you want to sell and you know that this company over here buys widgets, give companies locally an opportunity to get in front of those people and say, why do you buy your widgets from Michigan or Pennsylvania or West Virginia when you can get them from us and we're right down the road? It's a matter of matching up needs versus needs. Company needs X, company here makes X. Why not match those up? This is one way that we're working to sustain economic growth and to ensure that South Carolina keeps its sustainable advantage in the economic development marketplace. The 2021 recruitment figures pointed out something to us that we did a double take at, but we truly believe now. And that is that 2022 is really geared up to be a really good year if nothing bad happens again. We have hit the ground running in 2022. We've had more visits in January of this year than we have at the same period last year, which is always a strong plus. We're hoping that 22 is one of those years that we can build on what we have already started to accomplish. That said, we must stay ahead of the power curve to sustain economic success. To ensure our advantage, we must embrace disruptive change and emerging technologies. Now is the time to invest in the future acceleration and support services of digital transformation and the adoption of Industry 4.0 technologies to build business resiliency and longevity across all of South Carolina. Our Innovation Office is working very closely with a number of entrepreneurs and startups to help them and get them into the flow of mix of what's going on in the South Carolina economy. I'm sure that many of you have heard that South Carolina still is the leader in the world when it comes to the production of tires and completed automobiles. And we must be supportive of the automotive industry, but not only that, we need to do everything we can to help them in this time of transformation as they look at it, and that is moving into the electric vehicle model to sustain those initiatives that they started. As a state, we look to ensure that we have to look to ensure that we have the workforce development and training programs in place to meet the needs of these emerging technologies. If we can identify the future needs and do it right, we believe that our state will be poised for growth for the next 50 years. That's a long time. And I don't know, some of you will still be here. I will long since be gone by then. We're not certain how different the future will be, but we do know that it will be different than what we see now. But we have to be willing to embrace that change and adapt to that change. If we continue to work together and collaborate with each other, South Carolina will continue to maintain our substantial competitive advantage. To leave you with one nugget, South Carolina's future is bright. So is the future of Florence. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The future will be quite different, but it's time for all of us to get on board and work together to stay ahead of the power curve. Thank you, and I hope you have a good day.